So Don Alexander here with Gene Coda, Executive and Professional Search. Today, we're honored to have Tim Gurman at Carterra Corporation speaking with us. So Tim, if you could tell us a little bit about Carterra, your role with the company, I'd be grateful for that. And thanks again for your time.
Absolutely, Don. Thanks for having me. So my name is Tim Gurman. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer here at Carterra. Carterra is a small biotechnology company based in Salt Lake City, Utah. It was spun out of the University of Utah with some microfluidic technology about 15 years ago. The technology has been developed over time to deposit very small amounts of protein on an array surface, so you can actually investigate hundreds and hundreds of antibodies simultaneously. What this does and has done for the drug development industry is create the kind of throughput and efficiency in trying to find therapeutic antibodies that has never been before available. So 7 of the most successful drugs of all time, including the most successful drug of all time, Humira, made by AbbVie, are antibodies. And so there have been ways to find them and develop them, but they've been very low throughput, and it's been a lot of luck and trial and error. But we've created the kind of energy, efficiency, and throughput, as I said, in this space of therapeutic antibody discovery and vaccine work to create quite a buzz. And I've been at it now about 3 years. I started as a consultant. I've spent about 30 years in the life science tools businesses, as well as healthcare and medical devices, and joined as a consultant. And then in that they were the best and most exciting client I had at the time, I joined about 2.5 years ago.
That's a great overview, Tim. Thanks for that. And thanks for the company's contributions to drug discovery efforts, really, that'll help some companies with their research into the coronavirus as well. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the nature of the relationship you've had with our firm today with Gene Coda, and if you could give us a little bit of background on that piece, and specifically, what led you to choose or select our firm, the experiences that you've had with our firm, that would be very useful for us to know.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I've had the privilege of working with you, Don, now for about 20 years. So that's actually where it started. And clearly, this business is about relationships. And I've had the opportunity, both on the receiving end, but also on the hiring end, to work with recruiters for virtually all of my career. But I've had an excellent interaction with you, and I really like the way that you handle this part of our business. We have so many more tools available to us as companies and as hiring managers today that don't require a recruiter. But even in that mix, there are times when it's really, really important. And that's where I think the good ones have survived and thrived, much like you and your firm.
That's great, Tim. Thanks for that. If you could expand a little bit on that, that would be very helpful. What is it about Gene Coda, the work that we've done together, do you feel separates us maybe from some of the recruiting firms that you may have come across in the past?
Yeah, that's actually an easy one. We, at Carterra, but also in previous lives, I've had my team of managers actually engage you as well. And what I tell them is really essentially the answer to your question. Number one is the turnaround is very quick. I think that there's an incredible value to the network that you've developed, and network and database. And you will know a lot of the people firsthand. You'll know them by name. They'll know you. But there are also people that you won't know that you network into. The turnaround typically is faster than really any other recruiting firm I've worked with. I don't know why it takes so long. I think there's a lot of cloak and dagger and too many cycles that go with recruiting. I don't like that. I think you don't like that. And therefore, we've had this sort of very contiguous relationship in terms of our thoughts on how to attract good talent. And so speed at turnaround is one. And then secondly, the quality is exactly what I need for what I like to do. So when we get a stack of not just resumes, but really profiles of potential candidates, they are 90% or more on target with what we're looking for. So if you think about the speed of turnaround and therefore then the efficiency that comes with people who are already well qualified, we get to recruiting and bringing people into the company very quickly. Again, we have some of our own tools. There's a lot of social networking. There's a lot of business networking. And we have access to a lot of people. And we have hired that way and we'll continue to hire that way. But in those times when speed and efficiency is required, you always get what you pay for, particularly with Don and team. So we've been very fortunate in that regard.
Well, thank you for that, Tim. That's great. So speed and accuracy, very important in our business. So for other, I guess, firms that are considering GeneCode or our services, is there any additional advice, I suppose, that you would offer up to them?
There's nothing better than trying, right? You give somebody the opportunity to earn the business. And I think, Don, you've always been willing to earn the business at wherever I've gone. And you've understood that if I were new in a role, that it would have to be well executed and timely, and therefore convert maybe some of the other vested parties within a company, whether that be the CFO or the head of HR. So I would recommend people absolutely try at least one search, particularly in life sciences and the commercial part of life sciences. I certainly have most experience there, though I've hired a lot of scientists. So there's nothing better than trying. I can tell you how successful and how efficient it's been, but I think people need to make the effort. I think if they think it takes too long today, it does take too long. I think if they think they're paying too much for what they're getting, they're probably paying too much for what they're getting. And if they don't have enough quality candidates to where they have a choice in the end, that's probably what they're going to continue to get. So if you want to move away from those sorts of very typical relationships with search firms, then trying at least one search with Don, of course, would be the way to go.
Tim, that's fantastic. I really want to thank you for taking some of your time today to explore the relationship that we've had together, I guess in a more public way, and I really appreciate that. And several of the comments that you've made, I know will help others in their delineation of the value that our firm can potentially bring to them in the future as well.
Thanks so much, Don. Appreciate all your work.